Welcome to another episode of Network 101. I'm your host, Zeke Corley, out on a bike ride with baby today. And it's so fitting because we're talking a little bit in this episode about relationships with the Smiths and the Saulsberrys. Very cool episode. We get to talk, like I said, about relationships. They're talking about parenting. They're talking about business. They're talking about music. And they're talking about style. Such a cool episode. I'm so glad to put these two couples together that have never met each other. And I think that you guys are going to enjoy it too. Thanks again for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. We always appreciate it. Network 101.
Introductions.
Okay.
Guess we're going to go over our names. I'm Tracy Smith.
Is that it?
What's your name?
Okay. My name's Amir Smith.
My name is Lionel Saulsberry.
My name is Natalie Galley Saulsberry.
Okay, so when you first connected with Zeke, when was that? Or was it Mo's birthday?
It was a birthday
Dinner.
party, a friend's birthday party.
So that was probably 2 years ago, I think. I feel like it was maybe 2 years ago.
Probably about 2 years ago.
Okay. I first connected with Zeke. I was running for city council in San Marcos, and during a city event, he and I exchanged cards, and then later on, we were able to touch bases again, just kind of seeing face to face. I remember you. Hey, I remember you. And we sat down for coffee. He doesn't drink coffee, but we sat down for coffee and instant connection. So we've been connected ever since. And then I introduced Zeke to my wife, Natalie.
Nice.
Yeah. And that was about a month ago, maybe?
Yeah,
3 weeks or so.
About a month ago. We connected and
He came over
yeah.
sat in our speakeasy for the first time.
Yeah, one of
our
the first people.
guest. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So the area that you grew up and how music played a part. Area that you grew up. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Well, I'll start that.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, Midwest boy. Music played a huge part in my life. I was born in '75. So I grew up in the hip hop era. So made a huge impact in my life. I started listening to music. I started rapping at a young age, and just became a huge fan. It dictated the landscape of my life, music as a whole. But I am essentially a jazz fan. Love jazz. I know you. Miles Davis, Coltrane, the usuals. But I like some eclectic jazz, some rare finds. So that's what music did for me. And my entire family is in music. Everyone in my family either sings or plays an instrument, and they've been singing gospel their entire life.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I grew up in the Bay Area, and I was born in the year of hip hop. Was born in '73, and I say that for me, music played a huge part. I think as any child at that age, growing up in that era, and also in the Madonna, Michael Jackson, Prince era, kind of trying to find my way. Being, a female of mixed race, I had some identity challenges, and the music was always something that made me realize that I don't really need to have an identity. It was more of, I like this, I like that, I like this, has nothing to do with who I am. It's just what I like, and that's kind of my, I would say, anthem in that age. So, yeah, it was really... We got lucky in the 80s growing up to really good music, 70s and 80s.
Yeah. You want me to go?
I was born in the Midwest, so St. Louis. But I grew up here. And music. See, I was born in '70, so jazz, what I would call real R&B. I hate to say it that way, but huge influence. Obviously hip hop, but I liked everything from Duran Duran to Eurythmics. And then all of a sudden this group comes in. What was that young group they sang reggae? It was like the first album I bought, Musical Youth. It was stuff like that. And then Michael Jackson comes in, Prince, and so. But it was really the soundtrack for my life. All sorts of music for different reasons at different times. So good times.
Yeah. So music for me also. I'm Midwestern as well. I'm from Indiana. I grew up in San Diego. I moved here when I was about 13. I moved to the Bay Area when I was about 10. Oh. So my dad was military. So music for me, I feel like was like, when the parents are downstairs playing cards, listening to different songs, and growing up, that's just like a very, that's just a memory that I hold on to. I feel like that in music and growing up for us, I feel like music was almost like our social media. Mm-hmm. It's like when you love someone or you like someone, you send them that love song tape, you record a little tape, give them that little tape. So I feel like, and then been married to Emir, it's like, music every weekend. It's like first thing in the morning, that's what's playing in our house. Mm-hmm. And one of our kids, she's definitely, all of our kids are into music, but one of them, she sings and plays instruments. And so the music continues in the Smith household. Nice. One of the guys asked this. How about that?
All right. So Tracy and Natalie, how do you spend your time studying art, colors, and design?
Ooh. Okay, I'll start. So I would say I spend my time studying art, music, color, design through books. Books is a big one for me. I love looking at magazines and just get inspiration from traveling is another one for me. We just got back from Amsterdam and went to the jazz festival out in Rotterdam, and just seeing just the architect, the music, the design, just how simple they live. We rented an Airbnb. So we love when we travel to rent Airbnbs because you can see how the locals really live. Mm. And so just that Scandinavian vibe they had. So that the inspiration for me comes from books and traveling.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think for me, I am a feeler. So I will get inspiration from how I feel when I walk in a space. And I think that in certain, I don't read books about design. I don't watch shows about design. I just kind of realize, I don't do that. We were just talking about that. So for me, feeling is kind of my primary. I don't know where it comes from. I think all of my life I've kind of just gone that way. I feel like I'm kind of intuitive and I listen, to my gut. It's
definitely about energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I see something, obviously there's an aesthetic that attracts me, but it's always a similar kind of aesthetic where it looks very peaceful and very kind of minimalist, and which kind of made me realize that I think that whole feng shui thing is me, and that is what I'm doing, not so much design. I have no interior, design background except for what I'm doing, and people say, "Oh, that's really cool. You should come to my house and do that. Can you come to my house?" I'm like, I don't know. I like what I like, but it's about the way I feel. So I kind of drive everything in that direction.
So now this is where we see the connection, because I do interior design. Yes. So, okay. So now I'm putting it all together here.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by YourInsurancePlace.com. Owning a business is hard work. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into it every single day. You need a partner who understands the ins and outs of insuring small to medium-sized businesses. For over 40 years, our California Property and Casualty Insurance Agency has insured businesses just like yours. We've seen it all, and we've learned a thing or two about what it takes to keep your business protected. That's why we offer free policy assessments. We'll take a look at your policy and let you know if there are any gaps in your coverage. Let us help you to protect what you've worked so hard to build. YourInsurancePlace.com.
Hello, friends. I'm Joe Samo. I'm an attorney in San Diego, and I'm the host of Run It By My Lawyer. It's a great podcast where you will learn a lot about the law, and it is very entertaining, if I say so myself. And you could get it for free anywhere you get your podcasts, and you could follow us on Instagram at Run It By My Lawyer.
No, that's
Natural.
beautiful. Yeah,
Natural.
definitely. I feel the same way for me because I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
So just going into a space and that also applies to the clients that we
think
choose
so.
to work with, you know. So and that chooses us. So that's great.
I think most people don't know what they want when they're inquiring, with you about something. They don't know what they want.
Yes.
And I think we all in general want to feel a certain way when we are in a space that makes us feel right and comfortable. So if I can just help someone get there, that I feel like I've reached my goal. Aesthetically,
I agree, yeah.
It's however they like, but at the same time, it has to feel a certain way when you walk into a room. And if you're not feeling that way, then there's something needs to be changed,
Yeah.
either changed or added or removed.
I agree. I feel like design is just it is about a feeling. It's creating that space to feel a certain way
Right.
for that client.
Right.
The aesthetics is just a bonus.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much does your education play into what you do now? I'll take that one.
Okay.
I am part of that generation that was able to get a job out of high school and stay with the company, right? And so I would say most of my education came through training some sort or another within the company. So I went through an apprenticeship, and that plays a huge part in the job that I do now. If I hadn't gone through that apprenticeship, then I wouldn't be doing thermography work now, right? At least at the company I work for. That's one part. I'd say something else, just self-education. I don't really think any of us are self-taught. I think that we just choose to educate ourselves. So Tracy and I have always invested in the real estate space. We've tried a bunch of different things, a bunch of different investments. Some of them have gone well, some of them have not. But through education, you get to realize, and you can see some things a little earlier sometimes. And having that education, I believe, gives you the wherewithal to make a decision when it's time to make a decision, right? So that's how I see that. That's how it's played into what I do.
I feel like an education can be life lessons.
Yes.
So I feel like that's primarily what you're getting at is the lessons throughout life.
Yeah.
Is what brings us to that point. So because what I went to school for has nothing to do with what I do today, period. So I'm like, and I went at Long Beach State, and I didn't finish the 4 years, but I was in school. My major was psychology. It applies to my life with our children. And in relationships, but as far as what I do, design and I have a retail space, and our Airbnb and our real estate investments it doesn't really apply for me. So, yeah.
No, I'll give you a little pushback. I think it does, because we greet our guests, people who stay in our short-term rental. And sometimes you you figure things out on the fly. You know, as you go, as soon as you meet them, you get an idea what kind of what kind you have to read people. So you get this idea of what you're dealing with when people are very comfortable or when they're not.
Right.
You know, like we had a guest who, you know, she's looking at the pictures. She's looking in the patio when you first walk in. She's looking. And because we had changed the outdoor furniture, I think she kind of assumed maybe something was not right, you know, and she didn't speak English, or she spoke a limited amount of English. And her husband, he kind of translated and said, well, is she worried that it's different than the picture? And he's like, yes. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, all the furniture is here. We just moved the furniture around. So it was that shock that she had initially. Yeah. And they turned out to be, they turned out to be great guests. You know, they really, really enjoyed the space.
Yeah.
So
I think only in a small portion of what I went to school for still applies. So I'm a certified marketing management professional. And of course, marketing, you want to present. You always want to present. But what I do now as a consultant, as an educator, it's all of my life skills. Everything that I had to go through, everything that I learned as a United States Marine, everything that I learned as a father, everything that I learned as just being an individual growing up in Youngstown, Ohio, led me to where I am today. I think having the education is great because I just have more knowledge that I didn't have before. But maybe 15% of what I've learned in school applies to everyday life right now.
Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, it's good to get the education. In some cases, it's not. It's not required. Yeah. It's not required. I grew up not knowing anything about going to college because my parents didn't go to college. And that wasn't a thought process for me. That wasn't a pathway for me to go into. Later on in life, I went to college because as an individual who was interested in marketing, like in getting into the music business, I wanted to know, how can I market? What is my market? Who am I marketing to? So going to school helped me out with that, just having that knowledge. But what I do now, not at all. Not at all. I market myself because I have to be presentable when I walk out. I want people to know that, hey, this is an individual that has gone through some things and has persevered, and this is what you see today. So I'm marketing myself, but it's what I have in heart that I'm bringing to the table to what I'm doing as a consultant, what I'm doing when I'm working with students, when I'm helping them find their career path. So,
education. I struggled through high school.
Me too.
Big time. I was that kid who could not get up in the morning. Just did everything I could to not be present because I didn't feel I was learning. I was socially involved with, different groups of people, obviously, and they were a little older than me. So some of them graduated 2 years ahead of me, and then I was bored. So I started working at a really young age. And then I realized at some point, well, my mom kind of was like, hey, you go to school or you get out. But I ended up going a non-traditional way. My mom was a nurse. My father worked in a hospital. He was an engineer. And my mom said, hey, you can get a job at the hospital. You just got to go take some classes and, be what we called back then as a unit clerk. So I worked in the ICU. And I managed the front desk and managed all the physicians and all of the orders and all of the, kind of goings on in the ICU. So it was very fast-paced, intense. And then I ended up going to nursing school, got my LVN, which back then was in a very hardcore, intense 11-month program. And I started out in the early 90s working in the critical care areas of the hospital. 12 years I did that. I moved to Texas. So I have a total of 30 years of nursing. and about 12 years of going back to school, trying to finish, getting more degrees or doing things and never really finishing. Having kids in the middle, moving, having whatever going on in your family kind of stunting everything, you know. And I never finished. And I at first was looking at that as such a, you know, failure. But I realized that in those 30 years, you know, now I have learned so much because I had to teach myself, because there were things that I wasn't able to, execute as a, professional and having this license or this degree. And I was kind of stifled in a lot of positions in the hospital because I wasn't allowed legally to do it, even though I feel that I was a really good nurse and, you know, I knew a lot. But I was, like I said, I was blessed to be able to grow up in the hospital, trained by nurses in the 90s, where I could do so many things. And now I'm kind of done with that. I worked at a school, a boarding school for boys in Carlsbad, is where we met. I worked there for 11 years. And that last year after COVID and, you know, all those things that happened, I started to reevaluate. I don't think I can do this for another 15, 20 years. I'm kind of done with medical everything. Western medicine I'm done with. And so I started seeking a naturopathic way of being a nurse. And on that way of seeking the naturopathic way, I realized I just don't think I want to do this at all. So then I started to educate myself about what it is that I'm passionate about, and didn't really have the answer to that, except for when this guy, I first met him, you know, those silly dating questions. So what are you passionate about? Don't ask me that. But at the time, the only answer I came up with was, I'm passionate about peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, where can I find that? It's all that's on my mind everywhere I go. Every moment of the day. Where's the peace at? I'm going to go look for that. I'm going to find that. And then I realized peace, that's kind of, you know, my chi, you know, and the feng shui.
Yeah.
And so I started to educate myself on feng shui. And then I realized, I think that's what I'm doing all the time. Yeah. That's my goal every day, is to make sure everything's kind of feng shui. And then I decided to start taking some classes. So I'm in the middle right now of taking some classes to be certified as a master feng shui consultant.
Nice.
Not done by any means, but yes. That's my current goal for my future, to, you know, actually make some money doing that and helping other people and helping myself.
Which brings back your nursing, huh?
It does, because I can read people very well, especially when they're in a vulnerable position. I'm comfortable with that whole interaction. So, you know, feng shui is also about the psychological aspect behind why someone needs that. And so, I think it'll help me, you know. And of course, in those 10 years I was going back to school, I learned a lot. But I think I applied it as I thought it needed to be, or how I saw it fit in that circumstance. But, you know, life and experience is really the best educator. I mean,
I agree.
It's just
totally agree. Yeah,
what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to go to school. We're supposed to educate ourselves. We're supposed to get a degree. And you want to do that for your kids. You want them to see that, hey, you know, you can't just sit around and work. Yeah. Because when you're 75 and you're falling apart physically, you have nothing, you know, to fall back on. You want to be able to have all of those things through an education. But so I think it's wonderful, but, you know, I'm also very aware that it is not necessarily everyone's path. So there's some amazing people that have come out of not being educated.
Very true.
Ooh, okay. Creating a space in your home for listening to music with guests. Oh, our front room, our living room is that music grown adult space that we've always secured for ourselves when our kids were younger. It's like, that was our space. We have a 1950s home, so we have pocket doors. So we're able to close that door off. They can be in the family room watching their movie or doing what they're doing, and we were able to turn on that music, put those vinyls on and make a little cocktail and We have our little adult hour too.
You guys have trained your children like we've trained our children.
And then we've kind of created that space also outside in the courtyard
in our
area
courtyard,
too. So
where we give the parties and
I think it's important. I really do. I think it's important.
Yeah, we definitely need it.
And you all have been together for
29 years.
Oh, wow.
This month? Where?
In
Next
September,
month.
yeah.
congratulations.
We'll be married for 29, 31 together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've had some time to create that space where you know that, you can teach your children to kind of, you're also showing your children that you guys have lives, right?
Yes.
And you're in a relationship and it's really the primary thing. And
Exactly.
and that your kids, are very important to both of you, but if there's no foundation in that relationship, that your kids are going to grow up not understanding how
We always
work.
say that we always tell our kids our relationship comes first, then them. So they're going to grow up, have their own thing, have their own relationships, and
Gonna leave
it's going to
and
be
they're gonna
us.
do all
So
their stuff.
they've always known, like we've always dated throughout our marriage, even when they were young.
So important.
They need to know that they're secondary. That doesn't mean that they're not loved. It doesn't mean that they're not important. It's just we have to maintain a foundation, because if you put weight on a foundation that's not secure, and life is weight,
Yes.
Well, and you're teaching
when
them
it comes
what a
around,
relationship looks like.
a functioning
and what the foundation-
relationship.
How long have
yeah.
you all been married?
Well, we're newlyweds.
Oh, congratulations.
2020 we were married. But we have an interesting story as, we're both widowed.
Okay.
And so I was widowed in 2017. He was 2019. Long story, we won't get into that part of it, but I was married for 26 years prior to that, and he was married for 22. Same person. So we say not to refer to a relationship as a game, but we say we have the cheat code because we've done this, and we know what kind of not to do or what doesn't work out.
The pitfalls.
Yeah. So we're very good with communicating now.
Yes.
As maybe in our past relationships, we saw that as the issue or an issue. And so we both came into it. We know we need to be better with communicating. But as far as the music, we have recently kind of created a little speakeasy in our home.
Yeah, I heard that part. I was getting to that.
I don't even know where that came up because we were one day I think we just came out of a speakeasy. We probably had a few too many, and we were like, we should do this. We're gonna do it in our house, And we like to also entertain, and we have an amazing space in our backyard. But we realize after a while, when people start coming, sometimes you don't know everyone who's always bringing a plus one.
Somebody.
So we said, what, we need to make a space to where we can go from outside to inside, but not all the way inside.
Exactly.
Keep them, separated. And so we started about a year ago.
Yeah.
And it turned out amazing. I mean, for me, it was a very, I hate to say OCD, but I was OCDing on every little detail, you know. And I have no interior design background, of course. So, of course, I had to go, pull some things from experiences and Pinterest, of course,
Yeah.
But, and together we designed a space. So it's really cool. Zeke saw it. I'd say 99% complete.
99.
But,
That LCD kicking it.
yes, yeah.
Probably does.
Yeah. Maybe 98.5. But we do have, that's where we'll go now and listen to music.
Yeah.
And but this guy, he cooks, and so whenever he's cooking, he's got the music on, and we're on the weekends for sure. But I think that it's something that we realize that is so necessary.
Yeah, it is.
When it's quiet in the house, or you're so focused on business, or the kids, or whatever's going on, it brings so much of a lighter feel in the home. Like it brings the happiness, it brings the uplifting, and the kids need to see that we're enjoying life. I realized that your kids look at you like you're just like mom and dad, and you guys have roles, and you're supposed to do things for us, But when they see you as a couple enjoying life, it just really sticks. And he's got this saying. He says, our children are paparazzi, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we are properly displaying who we are to them at all times. So even though they don't like it when we sing and when we dance together and sing the old school stuff, and they're just rolling their eyes.
It's funny. I'm sure we can all remember hearing like Luther Vandross in the background playing some morning or whoever. I mean, there's so many, you can't even mention them all. But that feeling that it gave you, and that's what we're trying to share with our children.
It's those memories, that feeling.
It's those memories.
And you get that feeling sometimes later.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were mentioning your parents being in a room playing cards. And I have this vivid memory of my parents being downstairs. There's belly dancers and music and smoke-filled rooms. And,
everybody smoked there.
That's their parties back then, And we would peek through the door and look and see all the excitement. And it's, even though I can say negative things about my parents' marriage, those were the memories that stuck as far as them being happy. And, I remember saying, I want to be like that when I grow up. I want to be an adult that is, having fun and enjoying life. And it's not just about all going to work and all the things.
And that's interesting that you say that. Looking forward to being an adult then in the 70s was so different from what our kids are going through today. It's just like the stress of the world and everything's so fast paced and everybody has to get here and do this and have this, where there is no relaxation anymore. Exactly. I feel like that's been taken away. It's been robbed of us. But we have to create that for our kids to have those same memories that we grew up having. It's important. It's important. But and creating your own community.
Right.
I feel like that's why we even started the parties and I remember our first party in the courtyard, and it wasn't like, our courtyard was not cute at all. It's like, it was a lot of work on that property. Or you're like, well, you know what, we're just going to do it. Because if we don't do it and we wait and wait and wait, and it's like, when are you ever going to do it? And so then it began.
It was a potluck.
Yeah, it was like, we would do it potluck because potluck was easier.
Fun.
It was like the food stays hot. People are coming in at different times.
You don't have to take responsibility
Exactly.
for everything.
And there's that.
Oh, she made this. Isn't it wonderful?
Hi, I'm Rachel Beld, host of Velocity, the Vista Chamber podcast. Join me as I sit down with Vista's movers, shakers, and changemakers. Let's move Vista forward with Velocity.
The Film Hub is the future of co-working in downtown Vista. Get energized in an inspiring work environment that is built for your success. With multiple membership options for workspace and private offices, you can become a part of our co-working community. The Film Hub makes it easier to produce the professional content your business needs. From video production, live streams, photo shoots, or in-person events, you can create all this and more in our audio and video facilities. Love your work and where you accomplish it. The Film Hub.
Amir and Lionel being corporate world businessmen while being married to such creatives.
How does that feel?
For me, it's amazing. I love it because there's it's a two-part thing. One is the separation, being able to walk into the house and being at peace, leaving everything out there. I love that, and I like the way that my wife's brain works and allows me to reflect on who she is, and it helps me out when I'm talking with other people. She likes peace. She is a very peaceful person, and she's open to allow people to make mistakes. And she helps me to understand that things are going to happen, and it's okay, and it's not personal. It is all professional, and it is all human.
Yeah.
And that's what helps me out with having her as my spouse, because she sees the world through a different lens. and her eyes are beautiful. But she, the world seems different through her eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm able to see the world through her eyes, so that helps me out.
I can't.
No pressure.
No pressure. Drop the mic. Boom.
I'm always crushing. That's all.
That was beautiful. It really is beautiful. For me, it's it's this journey that we've been on together, because we were kind of young when we got married, and so Tracy spent, when our oldest was born, she stayed at home with the kids. So to have that, which that allowed me to do what I needed to do. So like she put her backpack on, I put my backpack on, and we were able to do what we needed to do collectively for the family. But what was really cool and interesting and beautiful was to watch her take that backpack of the children, take that off, and put this other thing on, this design thing, which she had been working on the whole time. I didn't really realize, but I thought back to one of the kids' birthdays, and she did this Narnia theme, right? And so she took this wardrobe cabinet. What do you call those things? The wardrobe cabinet. They can just call something else, whatever they call. And then in this, where we lived in Temecula at the time, and she decorated this whole thing. And I was sitting back watching, going, damn, there's something here. This is crazy. You walk through the wardrobe, and the kids going to this other world, and it was the other side of the house, and it was beautiful. It was fantastic. But in watching that growth, in where we are now, the house feels like a home. I think that's really like the main thing, and we are very different about a lot of things. We really are. Like, I'm kind of minimal, where she likes a lot of things.
Yeah.
But we find a way to meet in the middle.
You were just been nice, right? I'm an organized mess. He's very organized.
But it works, and I like to say we're good together.
Yes.
We're good together.
That's great.
What part do friends and family play in your life and career?
Ooh, big part.
Yeah, it's
Part of your community.
It is.
I feel like friends and family, they're a huge part. I mean, our family is our foundation, I would say, and our friends, it's who we choose to be a part of our lives, our children's lives, and who you want to have as your community, and who you surround yourself around is so important.
Absolutely.
It's everything.
It's everything.
Yeah. And their family keeps you grounded too. I think
without a doubt.
I always say, be who you are all the time around me. And that's kind of the definition of family. They're always who they are. But I think they keep you grounded. They don't have any problem making you upset or angry if they have to tell you something straight up, because they know that the love is there unconditionally. And I appreciate that. And we have a small circle of friends, but I definitely think that friends are it should be a smaller kind of ish circle when you say friends, and then there's acquaintances, and there's people that are appropriate for different things.
Exactly.
Right? You can't mix all of them together sometimes.
Sometimes you can't mix them together.
No, at all.
That's where we made it. I had to learn that. Let me just say.
All of them can't get on
mix
well.
everybody together all the time, because I'm just like, just come on.
You learn that with party planning, right?
Yeah.
You almost have to plan two parties, and not maybe in the same week or something, but like in the year. Okay, this
you're thinking about.
We're gonna have this kind of party here, and then we're gonna have this kind of party, and we're gonna have different guests, because some people either don't appreciate certain things you're trying to do because it's just not their vibe, or it's just
know your audience.
Know
your audience.
Which is great when you have a great big pool of people that you can kind of hang out with, and they're all very different, right? You learn a lot from different cultures, and but sometimes
I think for me, I get that, like the combining, not being selective on who's at what party or whatever. From my family, I'm from a very big family, and it's a family full of women. And so it's so many different people already that it's just like I don't know, I just don't even think about it. But I will say over the years, I'm learning like who you can mix, who you can't mix.
Because not everyone's like you, right? As far as it's a party, everybody have a good time. Let's keep it,
Coach.
adult. Good word. But then there's people that are always wilding out and drinking too much.
And if you're the type that wants everyone to have a good time, you're buzzing around, talking. You see, well, this all can't work.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And I have a fear of regret, so I don't want to learn lessons because I chose to just make everyone happy. It's like I want to tell you straight up, hey, listen, if you're not invited to something, don't take it personal. It's not. I mean, I haven't had to say that yet, but I would hope that no one would take it personal because if you have a big group of people in your life, family or friends, they should know that we're in their best interest. We're thinking of them all the time. And so it is just the way we want it.
Yeah.
And if it is your home and you're throwing the gathering or whatever, they just need to understand. And if people don't understand that, then maybe they're in the wrong circle.
They're not for your group.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of nice to keep a nice group of friends around because sometimes it's nice to have that extended family to help you deal with the kids. Our son had gotten himself into a little situation at school, at college, and so academically. So academically got himself in a little trouble, and because of his personality, he's going to try to figure it out on his own.
Yeah.
That's his personality. So I employ a friend to talk to this boy, talk to him, and it was the right decision. Right. Someone who he had been in a very similar situation, so they were able to talk at a level in the language that made sense.
Right.
And so having the right group of people, people that you can trust. I like to say I will not have someone at my home I don't trust.
Absolutely.
Period. That's it. Nothing is I don't have to negotiate on that. Just right off the cliff.
Yep,
It's
exactly.
done. So
There's quite a few of our friends I feel like gave proper guidance to our children.
they've helped us
We
over
can't
the
teach them
years.
everything. It's
No,
like
we
we don't
can't.
know everything.
We
So
And they don't receive it always.
No,
and they don't.
Yeah, they
and so
need to
it's good to have
come from someone else.
that extended friend family
Yep.
that can help in those situations.
And those are people that you can trust.
Yes.
And you trust them with your children.
Yep.
You trust them with yourself because, I have no family here on the West Coast, and everybody's busy. So there's things that's going on. So I love having the friend group.
Yeah.
I have a specific group of guys, the disciples group, and we get together and we talk about everything from our children to our wives, our marriages, our relationships, our work. And it's good to have that iron sharpening other iron.
It does.
And making sure that we hold each other accountable.
Yes.
That's important.
It's a safe
And
space.
being at the age that we are, there's no ill will, there's no animosity. It is, I want you to succeed. I want you to want me to succeed. Let's do this together. And it's lovely having a friend group like that.
Yeah.
So, it matters.
What is the most recent business plan for the Smiths and Saulsberrys?
And we're the SNS.
Love it.
That's more of your area for the Smiths. So
we've had the fortune to participate in a few different types of real estate, but I would say what we really like and what seems to work well are short-term rentals. So at this point, we'd like to dive a little deeper into it. Really maximize the one that we have, right? And look to do some other things. Like a boutique hotel. Something small, 6 rooms, 8 rooms, something like that, right? And take what we've learned and apply it to that. I think it would do well. So it's just a matter of finding that kind of space. It doesn't have to be here. we learned that lesson. Doesn't have to be here. You can invest where you can and live where you want. And so I'd say that's the next thing for us.
That'll be fun to design.
I know. We'll need that feng shui girl.
Well, I'm like I said, I'm in classes, so I'm kind of just headed down that road to just learn something new and be able to kind of maybe start a little small business consulting. So that's my short-term, long-term goal.
We're in such a unique space. We left our jobs. We walked away from our jobs. We needed to make a change. We had to.
Within 2 weeks of each other, we both left. Yeah.
And I mean, we've been working, the both of us. I've been working since I was 12. She's been working since she was 14, was
14
it?
and a half.
Yeah.
Illegally working.
Oh yeah, I've had one of those.
So this is all brand new. So the path that I'm being led into, consulting, has been great, because come to find out, this is what I've been doing my entire adult life.
Leadership. Yeah.
Leading.
You already knew how to do it, didn't you?
Putting people on the right path. I call it being bumpers. Like if you ever go bowling, this is your first time bowling. Okay, I need to make sure that you hit some pins. I'm going to put those bumpers up. I'm the bumper for individuals. And that's been very beneficial. I look at it as heart work, because this is what fulfills the heart. Money's great. And I like making money. Don't get me wrong. However, what's going to fill up the cup?
Yeah.
It's just money.
And that's been really good. It's been really good filling up the cup, helping out people, receiving a text message at 4:00 in the morning on a Sunday with someone that you helped out years ago, saying that you were the inspiration for where I am today. That means a lot. And to be able to continue to do that is really good.
You know, it's interesting to reach this point. I've heard people say this before, but you reach this point where people, and again, it's not about the money, but where you can be paid for what you know. Not exactly what you can do, but what you know, because you've already done it, which proves what you know.
Yeah.
Right. So it's interesting to enter that point, to start to enter that point in life. You know, we've talked often about that.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
Yeah,
So
this is an amazing age.
It really is. Oh, my goodness. Yes, it is.
You're right on the edge of not, caring at all what people think of you.
Yeah.
I can't say 100%, but every morning it's a little less every morning. And then not being so sorry for all the things you did in your past, not regretting anything, being happy for all those experiences and saying, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all those mistakes I made or all those people I allowed to, make me upset or make me sad or, it's good. I really like being here. I mean, there's been some struggles, and challenges, obviously. But as you get older, those challenges keep coming. So I think that we're better prepared the more we accept that we have no control, over any of this.
Absolutely.
And to just ride the wave as much as possible every day. Get a little grounded on your feet and ride that wave because it's coming at you.
Yeah.
You can either make it go the longer route and suffer longer, or you can accept it now and just let it happen. So I think this is a great age, and whatever's next is, bring it.
Absolutely.
and we're fortunate to have gotten some of the 70s.
Oh, yes.
They really are. Because that group of people were raised by folks that, it was grinding. I need no more excuses. I need production.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so we learned we learned a lot through that.
We're the last generation that can talk
really
about how bad everything was when we were children.
Yeah.
Okay. How can the network one-on-one audience reach out to you? Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, mine will be via email at lionel.a.saulsberry@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to get in contact with me.
Yeah, I don't have anything for, I can't professionally give advice yet. So, but we have an Instagram together, and that story is kind of long, but it's Love in God's Timing 333, and that's just a little story of our life. But we can
message us on that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you can message you guys on that Instagram.
Yeah,
okay.
we can decide if you're going to be in the circle, the Instagram circle, or not. Yeah, I'm just kidding. No, but that's personal. But
I would say mine is Tracy Smith Designs on Instagram, and for our website is tracysmithdesigns.com. So same thing.
I'm gonna tell you what. I don't know how quickly I'll get to things, but you can reach out to me at Amir O. Smith, so AMIR O. Smith @gmail.com.
I have another, just the company that I'm sincerely honored to be able to just be under this umbrella, galvanizedstrategies.com. So you can go to that, and there's a lot of things there. So.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to throw one more out there myself. And the shoptracysmith.com.
Okay.
I mean, not .com, I'm sorry, at Shop Tracy Smith. Dang, I don't know why I'm like tongue-tied here. Okay, Shop Tracy Smith Designs. So that's where I'll put like my vintage finds. I have a vintage retail space. So that's the page. I'll put it on Tracy Smith Designs as well, but that's where you can reach me if you're like interested in a piece or anything like that. If you're looking for anything in specific, so yes.
Is shopping ever done? Are we really
No,
ever done?
No, never.